100 feet up the track, we crossed over the Bear Mountains Fault. So we've gone from the Copper Hill Volcanics into the melange zone. So the rocks that you're looking at here vary between variably weathered greenstones to a silicious phyllite is how it's mapped. But it's siltstone, sandstone, conglomerates in some places. I have found what look like turbidites sitting on top of basalts. So stratigraphically, the volcanics and the epiclastic sediments are stratigraphically inclined, but because we're in a melange, I think we can suspect that they are probably tectonically put together as well. So I know you can't see it from where you're standing, but between us and this ranch house behind me is the Bear Mountain Fault Zone. In reality, the whole melange represents the Bear Mountains Fault Zone. The conceptual cross-section in your field guide for Rich Schweikert kind of shows it as a wide purple zone, and it's got that purple color because it includes serpentinite, which is the cliff-forming stuff that we see up behind us here. So we see lots of rapid changes in the lithologies all through the zone. It's about 3 to 5 miles thick here, and we won't get out of the melange zone until just before our lunch stop.
Is the Schweikert cross-section through this area or somewhere else?
It's further south.
Further south.
But it's conceptual, so I'm using it liberally laterally.
Okay.
I think it really shows the complexity of this whole area and the nature of how this oceanic material was accreted to the North American craton back in Jurassic time.
So,
I don't know what other.
can you
I mean,
talk to somebody? Where?
We can always stop on the way back.
Oh, we can stop on the way back.
To make some stops. I think we can eyeball it on that.
That zone is probably the clay mine. Oh, so they do have it laid out. I wasn't sure, but just remember that we went 1, 3, 7, 9, 8, 6.
Hey, hi. Hi, puppies. One way down.
This is an area that Oliver had mapped. It was the best source map, and so we tried to add some details. Some of these map polygons in this area are added. This whole hill up above us here, it's a really interesting hill. It has Merton cap. It wasn't until we did this map in 2019. Merton was not mapped up there. I think that's why you have these oaks and stuff instead of like the grape pines and the chaparral is the Merton, and then the float coming down from the Merton allows grape pine or allows the oaks to grow up there. It also, the Merton up there has protected this deep soil that we'll see it coming back down. And as we go up, look off to the right, it looks like tuff. It's like really light gray road cut. It's not tough. It's actually almost like a tropical soil that's just been bleached.
Is that on top of the serpentinite?
Actually, it's not on the serpentinite. It's on
Yeah,
more slatey.
Is that fibrous or
But
blended?
not the Merton, the older rocks.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yep. But
Could be fine.
it didn't erode away because the Merton came along, covered it, and so protected it. Yeah, the Merton. Okay, it's mostly rounded andesite cobbles. In this area, it can be.
Let's have that available.
The Merton is it's kind of like this big lump of. But they call it the ancestral cascade. It's when the active volcanism was around Tahoe, down almost towards Bridgeport. Table Mountain Lake Tide is this 9 million year old basalt lake tide flow. And so you had a lot of volcanism around Tahoe, even like beyond east of the modern crest. And what's that? Yeah, yes. And it just spewed out all kinds of material. So down in this area, you get a lot of the eroded and reworked material in the form of conglomerates, sandstones, mostly conglomerates here. You can also, at this far down from the crest, get lahar deposits. It's matrix-supported breccias. But the class are andesitic. Yeah, andesitic.
It's a capstone. It built the landscape.
Yes. We'll see. It creates inverted topography. We'll see as we go up here. The track's almost like, I want to believe that the contact between the Merton and the underlying bedrock kind of created a little like bench, and that when they built this railroad, they put it right at the contact, like almost on this natural little bench, because we'd be going up there and uphill from the tracks, Merton, and then right down, or almost at the tracks, or a little bit downhill, bedrock, and we'll see that pretty much the whole rest of the way going up the hill here.
To the point where, remember where we stopped, where we were on the top of the hill there and waited for the people to come and do the grade crossing. Well, behind it, we crossed another grade crossing. So it goes from there where the outhouse was, up and over and down, and gets to where you're overlooking the Highway 88 crossing. And we have a turntable.
Jeff to Chris, here we go.
Turntable up there to turn the cars with.
So you don't need that.
No, this one has it.
Next time we'll bring dog biscuits.
We should
Encourage them.
encourage them to take food from strangers.
Probably all over that house.
Bye, puppy.
So you guys will leave that.
very similar to the tongue jack on a house trailer, the electric. You know, so they sit there and they eventually go down, and then they eventually come back up, and they move real slow. Well, some of the other ones, the mechanism to raise the turntable up and down is hydraulic, and depending on the capacity of the pump and how much oil it actually displaces, the cylinder can move quite rapidly. You lift the car up, turn it, set the car back down. But because of the hydraulic cylinder and the power that's available with hydraulics, you can't hardly build a latch that will, you know, the turntable will come up, click, hold it. And it's designed to hold it.
Check the Chris, let me know when you're ready.
If the cylinders bleed or something like that and the thing starts to drift, the latch will hold it.
We'll see if it stays up. I don't know.
And so anyway, if
We highballing.
We're rolling.
Yeah, we're bringing up the rear because these two
A
guys
little bit more.
are the only guys they can trust to get across the railroad track.
well, originally he was going to be in front. He was going to run the front of the consist.
Okay, yeah.
And I was going to take up the tail. And then
Well, the way it's listed, I was sitting in front of this car in our condition, going back. We wanted to be in the lead car.
well, you can still do that now.
Yeah. Well, I don't know yet.
We're not going to put that car up here.
No. Because they said, well, we have to have our geologists in the lead car. And I said, why? All you got to do is use the radio and say stop. But I want to be in control of that lead car so I can control the intersection.
Give me a little bit more if you got it.
Because the movie's not scheduled to be released till June. So when I was down this last week, I had dinner with one of my old girlfriends, and I said, "Hey, would you be willing to walk down the red carpet with me at the premiere and everything?" Yeah, that'll shake things up. Yeah, I'll do it. I said, "Oh, thanks so much. It'd be great." Well, it's Kim Basinger. So
Oh my God.
we'll be walking down the
Oh my God. Wow.
down the red carpet.
She's your
together.
old girlfriend?
Yeah, we dated for a while back in '73. So, anyway,
Okay, anybody you don't know?
well, you know, having been involved with
There in my Chuck to Chris, I still have to load Chuck's car.
the
I
connection.
mean, we're going to pull it up to make it easier to load on the pad. You're welcome to copy that. Go when ready.
With the connections that I was fortunate enough to make during that whole term, that, well, I was with Reagan until he was out in January '75. Then I was assigned to Jerry Brown, and I said, I don't think I want to do that. And they said, oh, you don't, huh? That's where you're going to be. Okay.
I need 6 feet. Oh, no, stand by.
So they assigned me to Roseburg.
Yeah, I'm putting the white trailer on the pad. My bad. Thank you, sir, for watching.
Roseburg.
Oh.
And I said, I got to take a bullet for her? Are you kidding me? Anyway, I didn't last long there, but I was with Willie Brown, Art Agnos, March Fong Yu, a whole bunch of people.
Wow, this is like a
So
I gotta ask you, how was
Yeah.
Mayor Brown to work for, Willie Brown?
my main job. You're not recording this.
I'll turn that off.
Really kind of learn stuff, you know?
Especially when you keep seeing things in one location.
walking, all kinds of cobbles all over the place. So all these trip hazards. Let's all get out of here without getting busted up. Yeah.
Where do you want it?
I think right there is okay. Okay, we'll make this one kind of quick.
Hands up!
Yeah, we'll make this one kind of quick. Right there is slate, like really thistle slate, really platy. Should I wait for Jim? I'll just keep talking. He'll chime in if he wants to. Anyway, so I'm pretty sure this is melange. That's what I would call it. That's the melange. We're out of that really rocky, bouldery, metavolcanic, all that stuff just right there. So somewhere right around here is that Sharpfield fault. I mean, you could maybe even say it's like right here where it's got weathered out. Yeah. This is just your classic Sierra Nevada, but it's also just California, you know, like it's always hard to really put your finger right on the fault, but I think it might be right in here. Okay, it was an unnamed fault. Yeah, but then Behrman and Parkinson called it the Sharpfield fault. A little tip of the cap to Duffield and Sharp. So that's, you know, this is as good as it gets, really. I don't know. Let's see. Some of you guys are blocked by trees, but if you look that way, there's that hill sticking up in the distance. That is called Golden Gate Hill, and there's some Pliocene domes around here. Yeah, Pliocene. You don't really get Pliocene domes in the foothills. Like, what's going on with that? Like, is it Mendocino Triple Junction? I don't know. But a Pliocene dome, there's 5 of them. And Jackson Butte, we can't see Jackson Butte, but it's this prominent hill by the town of Jackson. The Golden Gate Hill.
It's a golden sign up.
More or less, yeah. You got in the northeast.
And then your domes are volcanic, is that the implication?
Yeah, volcanic. Day site, yeah. Old-timey professor who was still around when I was at San Jose State, Bob Rose. He worked on that in the 50s, and then they really tried to get an age on. I'm gonna get all arm wavy here. They tried to get an age on them because those Pliocene lavas, they saw it as interfingering with the Merton and overlying the Merton. So it's like you can get a youngest age of the Merton. You can get those age of those domes. And they turned out to be about 3 MA, 3 or 3.5 MA. Also, Maloney's fault. The Maloney's fault cuts through one of those domes. Yeah, and so when they were wanting to build these nuclear power sites out here and stuff, it was like, what's the seismicity hazard with the Maloney's fault? So they looked at that area. That's how they got all these potassium argon dates for that. But it's about 2.5 MA. Really young. I mean, you don't really see that anywhere in the foothills that young. I'm not sure why that is. Yeah. It's in that range. Issue a year right now, but we're going to bring it back. Yes, so we're all excited about that. There was a really good article on these Daysite domes, 1982. I think it was someone from Stanford. That's where it's got a lot of those dates in there, and it's about 2.5 to 3.5. Yeah. Yep. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Is there any questions?
When there's some concentric circle features here, or
Yeah.
Do you have any comment on them? What are they?
I know. It kind of looks like it's like maybe pillows or something. I saw that. I thought it was just almost like concentric weathering. You know, severe. That's what I meant. Spheroidal weathering.
Right over there, we just determined that this greenish stuff that looks like it's weathered is Lockdown Ridge.
Okay, there
And,
you go.
what down there?
Jim's figured it out.
Lockdown Ridge. But I think what you're seeing is the spheroidal weathering from being close to the paleosurface.
Yeah.
And the tropical weathering that occurred, not necessarily when the Merton was deposited, but realizing that these ancient soils and these very mature mineral assemblages, clay mineral, they don't go away unless they're eroded away and replaced by new soil formation. So these things, the actual weathering of this could be long before the Merton came along. So the Merton is up here, there it is there, and so presumably it scoured off, you know, whatever soft soil covering was in place before. So there's an interesting outcrop of sandstone back there. We'll see some more of it. I'm not going to make you walk back. But so we performed XRD analysis on it. The principal clay minerals are smectite and halloysite. Well, halloysite is a hydrated kaolin, and those two minerals, smectite and halloysite, often form with the alteration of volcanic ash. So these Merton sands have a lot of ash in it that alters as soon as it gets blown out. And the other clay mineral we saw is kaolinite, a minor amount, and that could be from eroding an existing soil or reworking some earlier sediment. But one thing you'll notice when we pass these Merton outcrops, there's no white quartz cobbles. What's up with that? If they would have flown over, flowed over the Ione or the later Oligocene, they should have amalgamated white quartz or quartzite. You don't see it, and so keep in mind that the landscape was very low relief, wide floodplains, and as the sediments built up and covered the lower tertiary and isolated it from these Merton rivers, that could explain why there's no
false advertising.
in amazing detail in the 70s by two USGS authors, Duffield and Sharp. They mapped it at 1 to 12,000. It's just, and they have 34 different rock units that they mapped. 34 different map units. Tolliver, who had previously mapped the Melange, had like 4 different map units. so when you're making a 7.5 minute quad and you have, and sadly Duffield and Sharp, they only got to a little bit of this Jackson quad. Most of their stuff is north here. How do you then take that detailed mapping and continue it south, And so as mappers, we're like, well, we could just sort of lump all their stuff together to take away detail. I don't want to take away detail. So it was just by hook or by crook. In some places we were able to get to it. In some places it was like air photos. We think we saw it. Often it's like dash contacts, maybe question marks. But And then along this railroad too. I don't think Duffield and Sharp went along these tracks here. So we were able to add detail here. And yeah.
And host chromium deposits. It's mined for chromium in other parts, El Dorado County, for example. There's also a problem when it alters, it releases chromium into the groundwater. So they've had a lot of problems with contamination of chromium in groundwater. Remember that olivine and pyroxene are anhydrous minerals, and when you subduct water under those temperatures and pressures, those minerals are not stable, but serpentine is. And serpentine is a phyllosilicate, which is the clay minerals group. And so it's not surprising that when you shear this rock, it's easily deformed and all the platelets align and you get all these nice little slickened sides, okay? Here, this rock looks fairly fresh or fresher. As we cross the highway and go up through the melange along the contact with the Merton, realizing that that's pretty close to the paleo surface. The Merton may have cut down a little bit. Envision thick tropical soils covering the entire landscape, and the Merton rivers cutting through that soft material until it hit a resistant substrate. And so you'll see that all those melange rocks that we pass are kind of beaten up and weathered. We'll stop and look at a couple of those on the way down. Right now our operators want us to scoot up to our endpoint at Martell for lunch. Apparently their stomachs are growling.
Take them off and they're like playing.
If I get the hydraulics to work, we might be able to suck it up enough to get to the top of it.